All right, when we start.
What's your name?
Name is Jude Paris.
And what'd you do?
I got 3rd place at the Dallas Fort Worth Regional.
All right, and what'd you do it with?
I played PK Hero.
All right. Now let's get into this deck profile.
Okay. So starting off, the deck is 60 cards, so there's a lot in here. With the core normal summons, we have 3 copies of Vision Hero Vion, 3 copies of Armageddon Knight, and 3 copies of Dark Grepher. All of these cards essentially do the same thing. They help get your darks in the graveyard. And on top of that, Vion is only there to dump malicious, while Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher are more of a bigger toolbox to dump all the other dark monsters. Moving on, we then play 3 copies of Destiny Hero Malicious and 2 copies of Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. This is used to search Mass Change, sometimes grab Vion, and sometimes even grab the Malicious if I have the Grepher in hand.
What makes you say 2 over 3?
You don't really need 3. Most of the time you're going to be summoning this card off of a Hero Lives, or summoning it off of Isolde and then getting the effect that way. So to have 3, it gets kind of cloggy.
Consistency?
Yeah. Next engine we run are the Phantom Knights. We run 3 Silent Boots, 2 Ancient Cloak, and 1 Ragged Gloves. This is probably the worst one. This is the 2nd best one, and Silent Boots is by far the best one because no matter what, like if you see Silent Boots, even with another Silent Boots or any other Phantom Knight, you can always special it out.
Hence the 3-2-1?
Yeah, hence the 3-2-1. Then the last 2 Dark Monsters that we played, 1 Destrudo and 1 Ibli. Ibli's for Nightmare combos, obviously. Destrudo is just an extra monster at any time, so it helps you,
in the deck.
yeah, helps you extend on combos, but like kind of like bad in time. So I usually set it out games 2 and 3. Then we had our hand traps. We played 15 of them. So we played 3 Ash, 3 Ogre, 3 Droll, 3 Veiler, 3 Gamma, and the 1 Driver. Reason why we played 15 is because we're 60, so we have the room, and we want to be able to open at least 1 hand trap. So that way, if we're forced to go second, we can try to stop their play. Then moving on to the spells, we play 3 Hornet Drones, and only 3 Hornet Drones, no engages because we're poor. 3 Hero Lives, and 3 Mass Change. These are all the multiples. Search this off of Shadow Mist, obviously. And then moving on to the 1-up spells. 1 Mass Change 2 because just 3 Mass Change isn't enough. A Soul Charge, Monster Reborn because they're fair cards. Foolish Burial to basically dump any of our dark monsters to keep extending our players. Rhoda because we have so many warriors, and our 5 equips for Isolde. Each of these is very each one of these cards I don't mind hard drawing because they serve alternative functions outside of the Phoenix Blade, which is just used to loop. But the DDR helps extend since we banish so much. The Moon Mirror Shield helps you beat over stuff. Aphrodite Tears like an MST, and Living Fossil is another copy of Monster Reborn.
None of them really feel dead.
Yeah, none of them really feel dead. And last but not least, we have our 3 traps, 2 Phantom Knight Shabergun, which is basically like another extender for the deck, and the 1 Fog Blade, which again can be an extender, or we can use it defensively to Phoenix Chain one of their monsters. Moving on to the extra deck, played a lot of Link monsters. So starting off with our Link 4s, 1 Topologic Gumblar Dragon, 1 Firewall Dragon. Gumblar's for the Ham Loop, and Firewall, we already know what this degenerate card does.
Right.
With our Link 3s, we played 1 Ningrisu and 1 Summon Sorceress. We all know what this does, helps extend plays even further. The difference between mine and Michael Forner's build is because they're in Europe, they don't have access to this card, so I'm able to play the stuff like the Firewall and extend it into like the combos that Gokis can do, but with a little bit more freely because this gives me an extra resource on board and helps you Link climb a lot more efficiently. Then our Link 2s, we played 2 Isolde, we all know what she does, and 1 Wee Witch in case they cherries this, and it helps us continue our plays. And plus it's generic dark, and usually if I'm going second, I'll slap this on the board just to like pump up my board, and helps me swing for game.
Right.
And then 1 Kagari in case we drew Malicious with drones, so we can tribute the Kagari and get the Malicious out of our hand. Then our Nightmare package. 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, one Cerberus, one Goblin, one Mermaid. Pretty standard. I know most Goki decks actually play like either double of Goblin or double of Phoenix, so that way when they're going through their combos, they can have the one to summon back off of Ibly. But normally I just throw away the Cerberus because if I'm going first, I'm probably going to win. And no Griffin. Yeah, and no Griffin because it's just not really needed. And then last but not least, we have the 2 Dark Law, most important card in the deck.
How often have you made it?
I made it every match except one where I just ended up I did the hand loop with the Gumblar, but I didn't summon the Dark Law. Instead, I used the Fog Blade in the graveyard to special summon out one of my Phantom Knights during the opponent's turn to rip the 2 cards. So this will usually hit field like every match, but like just for that one, it didn't.
At the very least, with the exception of one, every match you saw it.
This card is like these 2 cards are the pinnacle of the deck. Like the game plan for this deck is you're gonna go Gumblar and then you're gonna go Dark Law. So on that second time that you're ripping cards out of their hand, when they get ripped from hand, they're banished. So that way they're not gonna be able to recur those resources back.
Was there anything in the extra deck you wish you didn't bring?
I felt like
or that didn't do work.
Everything was really perfect for me. The only 2 cards that really didn't do work were the Cerberus and the Kagari. I mean, the Kagari thing, like, sometimes you brick and sometimes you'll tribute it with the malicious. That's why it's there in the first place. And it came up like that. And Cerberus, like, the reason why I play Cerberus is everyone plays a throwaway Nightmare that they use to just start their combos off, and that's what I treat a Cerberus as. Sometimes I would get the effect off, but like this honestly could have been a Phoenix, it could have been another Goblin, but I felt like having one of each just in case I want to use the effect was nice. So these, the extra deck was pretty much perfect otherwise. So.
All right, now let's see the side.
So the side was pretty janky. I didn't really know what to side, so I just kind of winged it. So 3 Call by the Grave for when I'm going first and just want to make sure my combos go through. 3 Twin Twister and 3 Red Reboot. These were for stun and Altergeist because like this deck loses to back row heavy decks. Then 3 Raw Sphere Mode for Gokis and any other decks that like to make a big board. 2 Cherries for Goki and like any other Firewall combo deck because that's what everything is pretty much. And 1 Double Helix. Did not see a single Spiral all day, but we still have to respect it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what was your usual side out and side in?
For me, I usually sided out Destrudo was always the first thing to come out. Then after that, I would start trimming on the Phantom Knights, starting with, I believe it was Gloves. Yeah, Gloves. Then I would cut a Dark Grepher, and then after that I would start skimming on spells again, like cut down a Hero Lives to 2. Then if I was going first, the hand trap that I usually sided out was Droll, just because most people can play through the Droll, and like if I'm getting the combo off successfully, then the Droll, like I would deem it not necessary because I'm at least ripping 2 cards at the very minimum.
Yeah. It's just kind of win more.
Yeah, it's just kind of win more. And I would always usually side out, if I had to side out a lot of stuff, the Mass Change second, just because 3 Mass Change was enough.
So digging into almost everything except for those 15 hand traps.
Yeah, and then these would come out sometimes too. I would usually like leave 1 Shapergan and side both of these out because you only need to see the one. And if I'm going first, like if I'm going second, I see this card as a dead card. I can leave it in going first, but sometimes I just felt like I need that extra protection with the Call by the Grave, so it would sometimes come out. But well, this would sometimes come out. But going first, I would keep these 2 in. Going second, I would only keep 1 in.
Any advice you have for someone trying to play this deck, struggling with it, or anyone think about playing?
You just gotta keep at it. You just gotta keep practice. Like one of the hardest things about like Yu-Gi-Oh is just memorizing combos because they get repetitive, and not only do they get repetitive, but sometimes you practice the same combo over and over again, and then when you get interrupted, you don't know how to continue the combo. So learning how to improvise and think on the fly, but not take too long so that you're slow playing is really important, especially in today's like game because it's so fast. Everything's so fast nowadays. You're just,
lots of emphasis on playtesting and knowing what to do when you get interrupted versus knowing how to do the combo.
Yes.
Any shout-outs?
I have a lot of shout-outs. So I'd like to shout out all my friends here at Denny's. We're out here like every Monday pretty much playtesting. Like to shout out all the locals in Houston, especially the 3 that I always go to: Cytex Gaming, Heroes Collectibles, and Senpai's Cards and Animes. I'm always out there with my friends playtesting too. Like they help support me. They provide me with cards. Like they're great places. I like to also shout out my car because they got me there. So Stephen Liu, John Dow, Rigo, and my dad Tony Tran for helping me a lot with this deck, because he's the main reason I started playing this deck again. So
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
oh, and remember, you too can top with rope.
Ooh.